running game was flowing. You were able to keep that flowing. That's stopped. Why? What's wrong with the running game at this point?
We're not doing a good enough job blocking it, and we're not doing a good enough job in the play action part of it to keep some of the defensive attacking the way they are right now. So there's no question they attack Cole Morgan differently than they attack Bailey. I mean, you can see that, what they do. But at the same time, you know, you got to be able to rush the football. I've always said that. If you want to create momentum, if you want to create tempo, you got to rush the football and then throw the football, because incomplete passes stop the clock as well. So, and then you got to turn around and come back. So you need to get positive yards on every down, and you have to rush the football. So we didn't do those things, and thus you can't get the tempo going unless you do one of those two things.
So is there going to be an extra emphasis, or even more? And I know you focused on that all year, but are you going to try and focus on that even more now, going forward, to try and?
Was that the rush
yeah,
game?
Running game, yeah.
I do that every time. I've done that for 15 years. So if I ever walk into an offensive room, the first thing I draw up is runs. And first thing offensive coaches want to do is draw up passes. So you need to be able to get that rushing game going, and it's got to go vertical and not side to side. So we've got to get some of those things going. And your offensive line's got to do a good job. You know, we lost Lehman in that second half, and that didn't help because he was doing so well for us in the blocking part, those edges. So when we lost that edge a little bit, we had to, kind of compromise that a little bit to what we were doing originally. So that's where we got to get the next guy ready to do the same thing. When you lose a guy like that, you still got to be able to stay in the game plan.
Deiondre played safety, and then I noticed, again, I started to go back to the injury thing, but then we saw Edwin Young, the guy that stepped in for him, or the next guy in, got hurt too. Is Deiondre going to stay at safety, or is he going to move back to corner?
We put Deiondre at safety because of, we did lose Joe Feldeposh. When we lost Joe Feldeposh, that made we tried to get the matchups right for this particular game. So we had to make the move to fill those shoes, and we thought the next best man was Edwin, to put a corner and then use Deiondre at safety. So we'll continue to do that if we see the matchups are good for this particular game, and we'll see what happens with Joe Feldeposh and Edwin. Edwin will be fine. Edwin will be back, but Joe, we'll wait to see if he'll be back for this week or not. So, but that was the reason for putting him at safety.
Have you ever had a pair of defensive backs that have drawn so much attention from the scouts as Dorleant and Hall?
Not a pair of them. We've had some really good ones over the years that have gone on and played a lot of football, but they're doing well. I mean, I thought Makinton played a very good football game for us, particularly on special teams, as well as what he was doing on the field at corner, because he was playing basically number 7 all day long, which was their best receiver. So he did a good job in his matchup, and then to see him do what he did on special teams, I was very pleased with his effort on the day. Deiondre is always running, so he can run all day, and it'll be nice to get him where he gets his hands back, so that cast is limiting him on what we can use him for. And as soon as we get rid of that cast, that'll open up a lot of other things we can do with him.
Sorry to call back to one more on the injuries.